Hello, my chariots. Welcome to this week's Pick a Card reading. My name is Hope, and this is Chariots Soul Tarot. Today's reading is Are We Destined to Be Together? All right, so we will do a deep dive into the Celtic Tarot spread and take a look at your person's energy and see if the two of you are destined to be together and what messages Spirit has for you today. All right. So I do have three piles here to choose from. This first pile right here is the Heaven and Earth Tarot deck. The second pile right here is from Mystic Dreamer. And this third pile here is from the Steampunk Tarot. Okay, so my chariots, do what you need to do to pick your pile. If you're drawn to more than one, that's perfectly fine. That means that there's other messages in the readings that you may need to hear. And if you aren't drawn to any, if you are not connecting with my energy at this time, that's perfectly fine. There's other beautiful tarot readers out there that you can turn to. Spirit's always looking to connect to you. So do not stop here. All right. So why don't you pick your pile and I will see you at your reading. Hello, pile one. All right. You were drawn to the Heaven and Earth Tarot deck. You may be familiar with this deck, or you were drawn to the color. It is filled with black and charcoal grays. All right. So we are going to use this deck for your reading today. The question that we're asking is, are you destined to be together? So we are going to dive right into tarot and see what comes through. And then we'll end with a card from Lover's Oracle. But let's get started. This is for pile one, Spirit. We're asking, are they destined to be together? And what am I seeing? I'm seeing the Six of Swords as I'm shuffling here. See if that makes a reappearance. All right. The Two of Wands, the Nine of Wands, the Four of Pentacles, the Two of Pentacles, the King of Wands, the World, the King of Pentacles, the Five of Wands, the Knight of Wands, and the Four of Swords. Okay. And then it's enough tarot. I am going to, let's get two cards from Myth and Fire. Okay. And while I'm at it, I'm going to get two from my homemade deck, and then we should be good to go. Okay. All right. Losing my mind, my goodness. Together again. And fear. Wow, twin flame. Okay. Twin flame has made it into this reading. Anybody looking for that confirmation? Now, what's very interesting, I feel, for this reading, for the majority of the cards, pile one, that's coming out is Pentacles and Wands, which is fire versus earth, right? Desire versus what's practical. That's where I feel that this situation sits with you and your person. When you have to simplify it and say it in a sentence or two, I feel that this person is stuck with their reality versus what their desire is and what they truly feel for you, with the way we have this energy of um, the material world and fire and desire. That fire energy is spiritual as well. And because of that, we have fear that sets in. I really do feel when I look at the King of Wands versus the King of Pentacles, it's the battle of those two, right? Um, Not so much head versus heart, but in this case, the desire and passion that they have versus what they're capable and what is realistic in the here and now. All right. But let's get into it. Let's start with this present energy that's coming through. It's the Two of Wands. All right. So we're starting off with the Two of Wands. And the Two of Wands is all about, trying to come up with a plan. So I feel like your person still thinks about how you two can be destined to each other. I do believe from these cards, your person feels like that's what their hope is with the World card here. They're in in their heart, they feel that you will be destined together. Although I feel that the material world and this present moment, all right, is what's showing me that that may not be possible at this time. But it doesn't mean that your person is not thinking about it and doesn't believe it. All right. I feel like this is driving your person crazy. All right. You are driving your person crazy, and it feels like they're losing their mind. Um, the card that comes out as, what is hindering this connection, or what are the challenges? We have the Four of Swords here. And if you take a look at this card, you see this man, he's laying down. He and he's looking up at the Three of Swords, which show up above here. The fourth sword is laying to the side, and the Swords is showing me that the pain that has been caused by this situation, this um, I feel like he's in the middle of a situation and he doesn't know which way to go, especially with what he internalizes here with the Two of Pentacles. Um, I do feel that your person is quiet at this time because when we do see the Four of Swords, that is talking about, going quiet, going within. This is someone that's exhausted and needs that time out. All right. They need that time out to think and contemplate. And I feel like that is where your person is right now. So there's probably silence. All right. They may be ghosting you, not speaking to you, or they're not answering your direct questions that you may have for them. I do have to be honest, and I feel like this is a situation where your person wants their cake and wants to eat it too, with this King of Wands versus King of Pentacles energy, and with the past energy of the Four of Pentacles. This is someone that's holding on too tight. They're really trying to control the situation. So I do feel, and when we look at four, the energy of number four, that's also coming from the Emperor, right? So I do feel that this is someone that tries to remain in control. And especially with the four here and the Four of Swords. So I feel like they're trying to, I feel like in this present moment, they're trying to show you or act like they have themselves together. And in reality, I do feel like there's a fear here that keeps them from actually moving forward and acting on their desires. When you look at the Nine of Wands that's up here, and this is your person's external energy, this is a wounded warrior. All right. This is the wounded warrior here. So, coupled with this exhaustion of the Four of Swords, I do feel like your person is very pained, that they are going through something deep at this moment. Um, and yet, uh, I'm just looking, the uh, key words in this deck for the wounded warrior is great strength, because it takes great strength to remain standing. So, I feel like your person has been through a battle of some sort. It could be true for some of you. There's some sort of financial or legal battle that your person has been through with all these pentacles, and especially the King of Pentacles here. Like there's some sort of family at stake or some sort of something that your person really has to oversee. That he or she can't drop the ball. You know what I mean? He is in charge of um something that he's already, promised to take care of. And it's very difficult for him or her to walk away from that. And because of that, I do feel like he's losing his mind here. Um, and yet the desire is showing very strongly in the future. So when I'm looking at this and it's coupled here with this twin flame energy, I do really feel like your person has that feeling, that energy, that desire that they are going to be with you. Their heart's passion, that is you. And they carry this within them and they really do feel that you'll be together again. All right. And I feel like that's why we have this card here. You will be together again. This is their hope and their dream. Okay. And when you look at that world card, we are talking about, um, reaching that point where, you started out here and now perhaps you are on your separate journeys, but yet you are going to journey back to each other. And this is what your person is very much hoping for. Um, you know, how are they feeling right now? Well, they're coming through as the Five of Wands. So this is a lot of internal conflict that they're feeling. This is about chaos. This is about what is going on in their mind, and they are very much filled to me with a lot of confusion. I feel like there's a lot that they're responsible for, as I mentioned. And because of that, it interferes with the passions and desires that they so heavily carry for you. That's why I feel like this overall energy of the reading is the Knight of Wands. The Knight of Wands is definitely more reckless when compared to this King of Wands over here in this future energy. Because I feel like the overall energy of your person is yes, they feel like you're destined to be together and they want to just rush towards that, um, based on the way they feel, based on their passions and their desires. And yet this energy can be very reckless, right? This is a night that can be very reckless. And because of that, they can often be hot and cold at times when you look at this Knight of Wands energy, because they may rush in and then they may turn around and rush right back out. They may leave. So I wouldn't be surprised if you've experienced that hot and cold. Same way with the King of Wands here versus the King of Pentacles. I feel like there's this need, this desire, there's this want to move towards you. And yet, sitting in the environment of your person right now is the King of Pentacles, showing me that they have a lot at stake. All right. That they have a lot at stake, and that this king has to be more stable and steady compared to the overall energy of this knight who just wants to kind of crash and burn. They just want to rush in there and fulfill, satiate their feelings that they have for you. And yet, I think reality stops them because they know things can come crumbling down, that there's things that they don't want to lose is what I'm feeling. So we have material work here, which is showing me the 3 of Pentacles, and that's all about collaboration. It's about teamwork. It could represent the work industry. For me, the 3 of Pentacles can also just represent that third party situation exists. And I do feel here this tug, between the King of Wands and King of Pentacles with the twin flame card that's showing me that there's probably some type of third party situation that you are completely aware of. Yeah, there's a tower moment here. I believe that this connection is the tower moment of your person. The 2 of Pentacles, which is their internal energy here, shows me the juggling that this person is currently doing right now. I feel like this person has a lot on their plate. This is why they're weary. This is why they're exhausted, because it's almost like I feel like there's 2 separate worlds that are going on here. One, what's going on in this here and now, on earth, in this present moment, their daily tasks, what they're responsible for, and what they're doing. And then the other compartment is their desires for you and their feelings that they have for you that really sets them on fire. Everywhere I look, I see fire, fire, fire. There's a flame here, right? With this twin flame energy, and that you both feel it. I'm gonna clarify this King of Pentacles. Yeah, the 6 of Cups. So I feel like I'm constantly seeing that tug of war. So you have the reality, this person that needs to take care of things, and then you have the 6 of Cups, which is this beautiful nostalgic energy, this deep feeling of soulmates. And it's this constant tug of war that I'm feeling. this pull that your person is dealing with. Um, I do feel that this person can have a family. They may have children, and that's what makes this very difficult for them. Yeah, here's the Three of Cups. So, the threes are coming out. I'm going to pull one more and get some messages from your person. With the Ten of Pentacles, definitely, I feel that this is somebody that's, you know, already, yeah, on the bottom of the deck. We have strength, and that's what it would take from this person, because I feel like they would have to walk away from an awful lot. There's an awful lot that's going on here. When you look at the Ten of Pentacles, that's when I look at all these buckets that your person has filled. They're sitting here as the King of Pentacles, okay? Taking care of and controlling all of these buckets. All right, they've made it this far. This is what's in their environment currently. And even though I feel like they have these deep, passionate feelings for you, um, it's a lot for them to be able to just pick up and walk away. So when we're asking the question, are you destined to be together? They really believe it from a passion and a desire and a heart standpoint, but from a realistic standpoint, they feel that struggle, and I feel that's why they carry this Two of Pentacles inside them. Why it's hidden, because it's so hard for them to balance these energies back and forth, that it really wears them out. Why it's so exhausting, and why that challenge is the Four of Swords. All right, so let's get some messages from your person, and then we're going to close out with a card from Lover's Oracle. I feel so happy when I'm with you. I don't know what you want, but I want you. I I want you so badly, right? I don't want to know. So I'm on the bottom here. I am waiting patiently. So again, your person really believes, like, they're waiting. They're waiting. They feel that you'll be destined to be together. They don't know when, but in their heart, I feel that the desire that their soul has definitely is filled with that feeling at this moment. All right. So let's close out with you. Close out with a Lover's Oracle card for you. So let's see here for pile one, Spirit. All right, and we have this card here. Look inside yourself. Examine what is causing you to feel this way. All right. So that may be, the message that you're looking to hear, pile one. Maybe you go through this roller coaster of emotions where you're unsure how your person feels. And I could see here with this twin flame energy that they are mirroring this energy. They don't know what you want. They don't want to know the truth even. They're afraid that you wouldn't feel the same way. Um, so you may be going through periods yourself where you're doubting your intuition, and I think Spirit's here to remind you to look inside yourself, examine what causes you to have that doubt. Because when you take a step back and you really feel that energetic connection that the two of you have, even though you may not be physically able to be together at this time, um, you should always go with your gut, right? Always follow that intuition. So I feel like there's some confirmation here for you today. All right, so I'm going to leave the reading here. I hope it resonated with you. Let me know in the comments if it did, and I will see you again at the next reading. Bye. Hello, pile two. All right, you were drawn to the Mystic Dreamer Tarot. All right, and this is what we're going to be using for your reading today. Today's reading is are are you destined to be together? So we'll take a look. We're going to dive into tarot and see what kind of messages spirit has for you today. All right. So we're going to start off with tarot right away, and then we'll draw some messages from your person and close out with a lover's oracle. So let's get started. So we have the Page of Cups and the Queen of Pentacles. The Page of Swords, the Ace of Wands, the Hermit, the Four of Swords, the Chariot, we have Death, Six of Cups, and the Eight of Cups. I'm going to grab two cards here from Myth and Fire. And two from my homemade deck. Okay, let's take a look. Putting in the effort, lost without you, worry, and balance. All right, pile two. Um, tough messages perhaps to give here today. Do you feel that this is your person, someone that has decided to walk away from this situation? um, that in their hearts they've had to make a decision, that balance has come into play. They've had to make a decision where they have to stick with it. and they've moved forwards, and I do believe that's without you. And yet I do feel that there is uh, a memory, sweet memories. There's some sort of nostalgia here that keeps them going. Um, I strongly feel that this person is a parent in some way. So, whether they're a mother or a father and they have children to take care of, what's coming through in today's reading is that their children are their first priority. And because of that, they feel that this is not able to work out with you. All right. So let's just get into it and look at some of the energies. We have the Page of Cups here in this present energy, which is showing me that youngness, that newness that your person still feels for you. Um, you know, they would love to be able to hand this cup to you, and ask you, is this relationship worth giving a shot? Is this connection? I would love to give this a go. Even coming from the past energies, the Page of Swords is here. I feel like at one point your person, yes, they were watching you, they're keeping an eye on you in this young energy. They have not forgotten about you, I guess, is what I'm trying to say. And yet, in their external energies, as the Queen of Pentacles here, that's where, it's really coming through that this person has things that they need to take care of. All right. And maybe if it's not children, it's parents, something as far as caring, taking care of something, nurturing, is what's really coming through here at this time. Um, and yet, I don't feel that their desire has left. They have this desire with the Ace of Wands that they keep in their hidden energies. Aces, those gifts, those opportunities, again, this feeling that they would love to be able to start something new. And yet, I feel that, this card's here for a reason that they have to put in effort because of what they have to take care of. Um, and with the Six of Cups, and the Queen of Pentacles here, there's this little girl with flowers. There's usually children in the Six of Cups. Um, and I have this strong feeling that children are involved in some way when it comes to the situation. So that's why um, I feel that, it's that decision, it's the sacrifice that this person has made, in order to make sure that others have a better life, and they've put their foot down. And with this Eight of Cups as the general overall energy, you can see the sadness here. This person's holding a lantern and a violin. Both are symbols of emotion, okay, and intuition, harmony. So, there's that feeling of, I feel like your person hasn't forgotten who you are and how they feel about you. And yet they really had to make this decision. They had to stop this sort of teetering of going back and forth. And I do believe that's why the Chariot um, is in their environment right now. That Chariot energy, that it is Cancerian energy, so it is emotional for them. But when you see that Chariot, it's all about someone taking the reins of their life and having to make an emotional decision that is painful to them. All right. When I ask the question how they feel about you, we have the Death card here. So I do feel like this is representing, like, to them, they realize this is over, and yet there's a transformation here that has occurred with this person. All right. Maybe that strength to continue to want to do better for um whoever it is that they have to care for, and what they're responsible for at this moment and time. But I do feel that this person is also extremely exhausted and pained. I mean, for their hopes and or wishes, the Four of Swords is coming out, and that's all about quiet. That's about taking that time out, um, rest, right? Rejuvenation. I feel like this is what your person is craving um, most right now. Um, there's a card here of worry. So I feel like a lot of anxiety and worry your person has carried with them um, in having to make this decision. And yet, for me, it's really showing that the decision they made is the most balanced decision for them at this time. Okay. Let's see if I can get any additional clarification here. There's also this energy that's coming through. There's something here. I mentioned young energy before and more at balance or a more mature energy. It could be possible that, you've had to deal with some immaturity coming from this person as well. And that's some of the transformation that they're going through, the lesson that they're learning at this time. They're trying to grow with that, become a better person. Maybe they didn't handle some situations between the two of you as best as they should have. The Ace of Swords. There's clarity. There's clarity now with your person. The Ace of Swords and the Queen of Swords. There may have been some hurtful exchange of words between the two of you. We have the Queen of Swords here. If you've heard me in previous readings, I talk about her. She can come off as very cold, as curt. Um, I feel like I would say she would always get the bad rap when it comes to all the queens that we're talking about here in the tarot deck, and yet really she's just looking for honesty and truth. So oftentimes when this shows up, and it's showing up with the Ace of Swords too, which is again that opportunity, um, that beginning, it's possible that some sour words were exchanged between the two of you, or some hurtful words, or there's this feeling that a true, honest, good old heart to heart, face to face conversation is needed, like just kind of putting everything out there um, to sort of, I don't want to say bring closure, but to maybe bring the peace that this person is really searching for. Because I do feel with the Four of Swords, there's something here that they're craving peace when it comes to this connection. I do feel the future energy of your person, it is showing me the hermit going within, right? That's a lot of soul searching, the hermit goes into hiding while they're trying to follow their intuition and the guidance. And I feel the same way with the Eight of Cups here. You have this beautiful moon energy that's shining, and you also have a light from a lighthouse in the background. And your person's really trying to figure that intuition out, right? Um, in the we talk about the moon and how there's different cycles and different phases. I feel like this could be someone who's gone through different phases and cycles, or your relationship with this person has experienced different phases and cycles, and right now they're really trying to focus on following their intuition and what they feel is best for them. The Four of Pentacles. And the Five of Wands, this energy, the Four of Wands and the five, I'm sorry, the Five of Wands and the Four of Pentacles were in pile one. So you may want to go there and listen to that reading as well. But this is about someone that doesn't want to let something go. They're in they're dealing with a lot of internal conflict. Um, And because of that, it is painful, it is hurtful, whether they show that side of them or not. And again, I think that's why they're craving, peace in their life. They're creating peace. They're looking for that balance. I don't feel that in the past they've had, you know, maybe that they've made the best choices, that you would say that their life is balanced. The Empress. All right. And the Ten of Cups. I feel this is someone who's truly trying to cre- create emotional balance within themselves. They're trying to get to that 10 of cups, which is that emotional bliss. It's emotional happiness ever after. I do feel like this is why the Empress is called here. We who is the Empress? We know she's full of abundance, full of growth, right? Full of fertility. Again, children somehow are really having a strong presence in this reading. The bottom of the deck is showing me the Two of Pentacles, and that's showing me how much this person has been juggling, how much they've had on their plates, all right? And it has been a roller coaster for them. So, they're trying to step in that power, that divine empress power, and they are trying to pick a side is what I'm hearing, and focus. They need to focus. They need to take that reins of their life and carry on and move forward. But that doesn't mean, Kyle, too, that they have forgotten about you. Okay. So I am going to get some messages from your person. I would suggest going back and listening to pile one as well. They may be related. I compare others to you. So your person, is comparing others to the way you are. I miss hearing your voice. I feel the sexual tension. I hide my feelings. On the bottom of the deck, I do love you. So there is this sadness and again, this pain that I feel, that there is recognizing, the feelings that they might have for you, but yet the choice that they had to make. um and it was a hard choice, but they feel like they've made the best decision that they possibly could at this present moment. All right. You know that energies are always changing. Something can change in the future. Um, but right now they feel like they've made the best decision that they possibly could for themselves and whoever is surrounded by them at this time. So I'm going to close out for you with a card from Lover's Oracle. This beautiful card here came out with the dove, the white dove. You may not always understand why certain things happen. However, there is always a higher purpose to the events in your life. Through turmoil, a blessing will soon be revealed. Wow. All right. So I'm going to end the reading there, pile two. Let me know in the comments below if the reading resonated with you, and I'll see you again at the next one. Bye. Hello, pile three. All right, you chose here the Steampunk Tarot, and these are the cards we're using for your reading today. Today's reading being, are you destined to be together? All right, so we're going to take a look at tarot. We'll get some messages from your person and then close out with a card from a Lover's Oracle. All right, so let's get started. Let's see. Are you destined to be together? This is for pile 3. Okay. The 4 of Cups. Wow, the 4 of Wands. Right. Queen of Swords. King of Cups. Eight of Pentacles. The 10 of Swords. Yikes. The 8 of Cups. The Ace of Wands. The 8 of Wands. Look at that. 3 eights. 888 might be a number you're looking for. If I remember, I'll pull that from the Twin Flame angel numbers and read off the card. And then the 3 of Wands. That's enough tarot to start with. You get some oracle cards here for Myth and Fire. And also, I'll get 2 cards here from the homemade deck. All right, so let's take a look at those. Cutting karmic bonds. Cupid's arrow. Radiance and letting go. Very interesting. All right, let me see here. All right, for this reading, what I'm sensing when you ask the question, are you destined to be together? Oh, and let me get, I'm sorry, while I'm at it so I don't forget, I want to just quick look, see if do I have a card on the 3 eights? Don't want to forget. Do I? Thought I did. Hold on. Hold on. Yes, I have to. 888. Oh, wow. Okay. So there's a strong message coming through here that karmic cycles are now coming to a close. Allow all parties to absorb the necessary lessons for growth. And I was going to say, I do feel that there's strong lessons that's coming through in regards to your person. Um, I, what I'm feeling is that this person feels like they made the wrong choice. All right. I do feel that let's just start from the beginning. We have this four of cups here in this present energy, and look at how this person, if you can see, they're sitting on the desk, and I do see um drinks involved. It's like this person's numbing themselves from the pain. You heard me say yikes, because the Ten of Swords is coming out as their hopes and or wishes. So what's that is telling me is that this is someone that has a lot of pain, feels beaten down, and they cannot wait for this cycle to be over. So, the fact that we have a card here of cutting karmic bonds and the 888 representing karmic cycles that are coming to a close, I do believe that there's something that your person is working through in this present moment, all right? And they are closing out karmic cycles as we speak. I feel, look at this, like in their environment is the Eight of Cups with the note here of letting go. I do believe that your person is walking away from something. And yet, I feel for you that there's this Cupid's arrow that has been struck. I do feel that you've changed things considerably for your person, to the point that you've really shifted their journey, or the pathway that they're on. Things have taken a turn for this person that I don't think they were expecting. They weren't expecting this change. I don't think they were expecting that you were going to have this effect on them the way you have. This radiance card is here, and I do feel like you shine some sort of radiance towards them. Your energy. We have the Four of Wands that's in their external energy. Now, that's that 1111 card. So, there's this feeling of wanting um physical union with you, wanting you to physically come together. Even in the feelings, the Ace of Wands is here, and that's that desire, right? That's the desire and the passion that this person has for you. And look how it is symbolized here with this hand holding on, gripping this wand in gold and holding on to it very tightly, very strong, as if there's no swaying this person. Like, this person knows how they feel for you. They know. Um, and yet, I mean, their inner feelings are the King of Cups. So, they have this deep, profound love for you. Um, I don't believe they share it, though, or they've shared it with you. They have not shared these deep feelings for you. And this is where I'm seeing a lot of regret, because when I'm looking at the past and the present energy, we have this Four of Cups where I just feel like your person's in, not a great spot right now in their present moment. There's this feeling like they're, this Four of Cups, disgust, and there's this regret here. When it comes to you, I'm looking at this Queen of Swords. Now, when she shows up, do you remember what I always say about this beautiful Queen of Swords? She always gets sort of the shitty end of the stick because she's strong and she doesn't take any nonsense. And really, her goal is to get to the bottom of the truth. All right. And it's interesting because in this queen picture, if you look closely, there is a hand here, as if she's taking someone's hand. I feel there's a regret in the conversation or the words that were exchanged between you and your person when I'm looking at this past and present energy. I feel that this person did not give you the heart to heart conversation that they should have. All right. And I do feel that there's a mix of reasons why they feel like they were making the best decision. There's something that comes through here also that they didn't feel that they were in the right place for you at the time when this conversation took place. Um, and that they've really been working hard with this Eight of Pentacles here. Uh, to get themselves to a place where they find themselves on the same level as you. So that seems like a struggle here. Like this is one of the things that this person has struggled with when it comes to you. And yet they know very well deep down how they truly feel about you. Uh, Three of Wands is here. It's coming up as the challenges right now for this person. And, the Three of Wands for me is about watching and waiting. It is possible for the two of you, whenever I see this Three of Wands, that it's a long distance relationship. I'm just looking at this card. This man is looking through a telescope. So you guys can be miles apart, far away from one another, where distance is a problem or has been a problem. And yet, look at all these lanterns that are hanging off these wands, and lanterns represent, that intuition. So I feel like your person very well knows how they feel about you inside, and um there's this swift fast change that they're looking for. So I feel like there's this swift fast change with the overall energy coming through as the Eight of Wands, and that's also telling me that communication can be important. I have two cards that represent communication to me, that's going straight across, that holds, sandwiches everything in between. And the Eight of Wands is could represent travel as well, so that's why there can be some distance here. But when you see that Eight of Wands, what that means is something swift, like your person is looking to close out this Ten of Swords energy. All right. I'm not getting an answer right this moment on whether your person feels that you're destined to be together. Let me pull some more cards. I do feel that's because of what their current situation is and what their energy is taking up at this moment. I feel like there's a lot going on in this person's life that they have to wrap up. There's a lot of cycles and lessons exactly here that your person is learning at this moment. One of them, I do feel, is not being forthcoming with you. But let's see what else I can get. Let me clarify this present energy. Like I said, with that Four of Cups, and in this deck, it really shows person, sort of sitting here drinking wine. So again, I feel like your person can be numbing themselves in some sort of way to take their mind off the pain that they're feeling right now in the karmic cycles that are currently ending in their life. The King of Pentacles. All right. So that's showing me, yeah, that your person, has a lot on their plate, has a lot that they're responsible for. I feel like this person's trying to do the right thing. I'm also feeling that whatever karmic cycles that they're closing out, this person doesn't want to go broke. So there's a financial situation where I feel like they've been working hard all along to get themselves to a certain place where they're finally doing well. And then if there's any karmic situations that are breaking down that can financially uh, cause more problems from them from what they're already dealing with, this has added tremendously to this pain and grief and betrayal that they're feeling from the Ten of Swords energy. Let's see what else. The Knight of Pentacles. Wow, the Three of Swords in their environment. I don't believe your person right now, pile three, is focusing on are you destined to be together because of what is how much pain they're dealing with now. They're heartbroken. All right. Here's the Three of Pentacles. Yeah, that can show me that there was some sort of karmic situation here. I do believe that, yeah, there was some sort of third party involvement. All right. And I feel, that's what this energy is all about. That your person perhaps did not choose you, they did not come clean. And now there's just a ton of regret that lies with this person. Um, for making some of the decisions that they did. All right. We're going to get a few more and then we'll get messages from your person. Oh my God, the Nine of Swords, a lot of sleepless nights. You see the pain here. We have the Nine of Swords, the Ten of Swords, the Three of Swords, that Four of Cups in the present moment. Uh, a true, a very true hurtful time for your person. So it's not that they're thinking you're destined to be together. It's just that their situation right now to me is so filled with having to put out fires and, lessons that need to be learned. The Page of Swords. So your person still they're still keeping an eye on you. With the Four of Wands here, like I said, and the King of Cups on the bottom of the deck, look at this, is the Sun. I do feel like, they look towards you when it comes to happiness and joy. If your name were to come up to your person, this is what they're they're feeling when, their name comes your I'm sorry, your name comes up. There is just this happiness, and I don't think they've felt this for a long time. Underneath this is the Devil. So I'm feeling, yeah, like there's something unhealthy here going on with this person. Now is just not a good time for them. um it's not that I can't really, the cards and the energy are just not allowing me to answer the question at this time. Um, this present energy really has uh, just too much that consumes your person, and they need to work through that and be able to let that go. So maybe if I do this reading again, say in another few months, um, we can see how these energies change. So let's get some messages anyway from your person and see if they had messages for you right now. What is it that they would say to you? I want to make amends. And it's interesting because it sits here with this Queen of Swords from the past energy, and I told you like this queen is accepting someone's hand. Um, I think it's a long way right now from this person as far as, them thinking, are you destined to be together? When I feel like the only thing that they are thinking about at most when it comes to you right now is wanting to talk to you, you know, and wanting to make things right. I admire you. There's that sun energy, the joy, the beauty. I wish we could go back. See the regret that's coming through. It's the Four Cups energy there. I have too much to lose. On the bottom of the deck, you didn't see my tears. So, again, lots of pain coming through here. Um, a battle, I feel like a battle your person is trying to win at this moment that brings them pain, that brings them tears. I feel that your person wishes they could talk to you about their situation right now. That's what's coming through heavily in this reading. So let's close out. Let's see what your oracle card says regarding your person. This reading was spirit for are you destined to be together? I can tell you from the energy, at least no, not at this time, just because of what this person has going on. May want to go back and look at pile 1 and 2. I feel like this was like an ongoing collective reading today. And we got this angel here for you to close out. Don't make decisions based on guilt or what you think you should do, for it is only in being true to yourself that you can be true to others. So, this person can be working, one of the lessons that they're learning, pile 3, is authenticity, and truth and honesty, in integrity, handling things with integrity and fairness. But I feel like there's an authenticity here. I think your person wore a mask with you, to be quite honest. And, right now they're having to bear it all. And it is hard. It is hard on them. They're full of regrets. So this is an energy that they need to work through, learn their lessons from, and come out of that cycle. All right. But they definitely admire you. They definitely have this strong love for you. Um, they're just they're just not in the place that they can make themselves available for you at this time. All right. So I'm going to close out the reading here, pile 3. Let me know in the comment section if it resonated, and I will see you again at the next reading. Bye.